What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 101. It's not a 30-minute episode today, so I want to say real briefly thank you to everyone who watched yesterday's episode. It was indeed our 100th of the series. Can you believe it? Treble digits! Feels like it only began a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we are kicking off episode number 101 with something I've been waiting for quite a while. Maybe not 101 episodes, but certainly several of them. Yeah, Gedson Fernandez's position change has been completed. Gedson absolutely buzzing. Obviously, the former Benfica midfielder who we obviously inherited as part of our original AC Milan side. And if you remember when we came into the job here, we had a defensive crisis. You know, we only had one left back, one right back, and one centre back. At the time, the right back was Rossier, I believe. Theo, of course, is still our starting left back. And of course, the centre half we had was Kabak. We had like no defenders. Well, I say we had no. We had three. We had three defenders in our AC Milan squad. However, as we knew, we had so many central midfielders here. Leon Goretzka, Yuri Tielemans, several players in the CM role. And I said to Fernandez, like, if you want to be a regular starter in this team, it's not going to be through the middle. You're going to have to change your position and play somewhere else. We changed him to right wing back. The position change is finally completed. And I'm absolutely buzzing as well. Now, the one reason why certain position changes take a lot longer than they probably should, and I only learnt this out through comments from you guys, is that EA won't allow a position change if it results in a attribute decrease, or I should say an overall decrease. So for a certain player like Keane, obviously last season I'm not going to say moaning and whinging, but I was talking about it quite a lot as he actually gets involved in the first goal of the game here against Hellas Verona away from home. What a team goal, by the way. Absolutely glorious right from kickoff. Love that goal there. The reason why Keane is still taking so long to become a left winger is because if he would have changed from ST to LW when we signed him last season, 86 overall I think it was, if it would have happened instantly and just like that, he probably would have, gone down like 2 or 3 ratings overall. So that's the reason why for certain players it would just take an awful lot longer, because EA won't allow players to decrease in their overall change of position, which I'm not really sure I agree with, if I'm being totally honest here. And again, look at this, 26 minutes in here. You can tell this Milan team is clicking and firing on all cylinders. Just got a lovely team goal earlier with a rebound goal from a crossbar shot from Keane, obviously it should be said. But then Gutierrez repays Keane moments later as we get our second glorious team goal away in Hellas Verona here. Really clicking right now. But even so, I'm not sure I'd necessarily agree with EA's philosophy there, because certain players will, get a little bit worse learning position at first, but then they get better over time. That's just how it is, man. When you're learning a new skill or learning a new trade or whatever, it takes time, and sometimes you are going to struggle initially, but then you'll regain and get better. But even so, Fernandez's position change is complete. I don't know when Keane's is going to happen. It says about 70 odd weeks, so you're presuming at some point next season. I think if I'm lucky, fingers crossed, touch wood, it might happen towards the back end of this season if we're very lucky. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Regardless, we won this game away in Verona by 3-0 to follow on the back of our big win against Salernitana at the San Siro. Brace for Roberto and 1 for Keane as well. But all 3 of those goals there, absolutely brilliant team goals. The first of which, my favourite, despite it being a rebound goal, just a brilliant team effort. And then the second goal, that one extra pass from Roberto, didn't need to do it, but did it anyway. And for the third goal as well, I've talked about it before, those stroked, calmly placed finishes into the bottom corner. They just personify coolness as a striker, and composure. Well, you don't need to blast it in 100 miles an hour. Just place it. Just guide it into the back of the net. So cool. But still, 3 in the final score. Big save by Mike towards the end to keep the clean sheet intact as well. And we talked about it this season. We're on red-hot form on the offensive end. But Mike, this year, it's just reached another level. It's the contract extension and it's the backing from the manager. That's done it. I should have done it last year, but Mike right now is absolutely thriving as our shot stopper. So yeah, following game, Spurs away North London. You would have seen the table heading into match day 5 in the Champions League group stage right now. We are top with 3 wins in 4. However, Spurs right now only 1 point behind us, which would mean away against Antonio Conte's side. If they get a victory at home, then we drop to second heading to the final day, and destiny is out of our own hands, and Spurs will have the chance to qualify as group winners if they win in the final game against Benfica. And when they took the lead through Boubacar Kamara playing as a false 9, don't ask me why, it's just how the game is sometimes, Spurs took the lead, and I was thinking, wow, this might well be our first defeat of the season, There have been some games this season where I've been a little bit shaky, a little bit patchy, not been playing my best football. This might be the game where it finally comes to an end. But 37 minutes in, Timmermans said, "Sod that gaffer. I'm keeping our unbeaten run going." And Timmermans, man, like he seems to love playing. And he's really last season against Newcastle, both in the Europa League group stage, and then when we had the Magpies in the semi-final as well. I think he scored in both games at St James's Park, and now he scored in North London as well. I tell you, if we ever return to England, to the Premier League, which is definitely a possibility at some point in years to come, I'm taking Timmermans with me, because this guy loves playing in England, man, no doubt about it. And I guess, to be fair, he could well be Kevin De Bruyne's regen, so it's not a real surprise. But speaking of regens, Mario Götze's regen. I've had enough of this, man. Seriously, 69 minutes in, and the super sub Schneider does it once again. Brought him off the bench at half-time, along with Sailmakers, the Belgium. They combine for the second goal as we turn the game on its head and win in North London to guarantee top spot of a game spare. Brilliant, resilient comeback win there. We haven't had to come from behind many times this season. In fact, is that the first? It might well have been so, you know, but even so, we come from behind to get the win. A sign of resilience in this Milan side, and there you go, a game to go. 4 points clear, qualification and top spot in the bag. So in our fifth and final game today against Başakşehir in match day 6 in Champions League group stage San Siro, we can rotate our entire side. And I always say that's one of the things you should really look to do when you're in a European group. If you're one of the front runners to win it, one of the favourites to win it, get qualification out of the way as soon as possible. Especially in December when there's so many fixtures coming and you've got match days 5 and 6 in the Champions League. It's such a luxury to be able to rotate your entire team for a game, or possibly, if you're lucky, a couple as well. Still, for the third game of today's episode, Roma. And this was interesting. Jose Mourinho's side right now are 19th place in this area, but they've got a really good team. I know Casemiro's aging right now, but he's still there. They've got Rodrigo in their side, and the guy that gave him the goal, Adam Armstrong, who normally does really well in career mode as well, he gave them the opener. The English-born striker putting Roma in front, and 24 minutes in, still trailing by a goal. Well, I couldn't believe it. I thought if we were going to lose our unbeaten run, I mean, listen, Roma are a great side. They're playing so poorly right now. I thought it would come against one of the big boys or maybe Spurs away. But 43 minutes into the game, still down by a goal. We found our leveller, and it was Tapsoba's first goal for his new club. And I always say, if you're going to score your first goal for your new club, make it a memorable one. This is one to remember, because it ensured we kept our undefeated start alive. Heading in from a corner, 1-1, and that was how the game will finish as well. So for the second time this season in the league, we failed to get the win. Another draw after our draw at home to Sampdoria as well. So whilst we're 100% on the road, we will see the league table in just a moment's time now, after a disappointing slip-up against an underperforming Roma side. Well, despite the dominant start to this season, and I've mentioned it, it's so funny because it doesn't feel like we're dominating. Because the league table, 12 wins in 14, 41 goals, only 4 goals conceded. Yet we're only 4 points clear of Juve in second and 6 ahead of Inter in third. How are we only a few points ahead of second and third when we've won 12 in 14, only conceded 4 goals, and are still undefeated? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because it's the AI on Ultimate, baby, and I'm loving it. And this is what I wanted, even when we're on fire, even when we are dominating, even when we're brushing teams aside at certain stages of the season, we're not pulling away. We're not going to win this title by Christmas. Inter Milan, as we know, won the title with a few games to spare last season. But if we are to win the title this season, you'd say we're still definitely favourites, no doubt about it, after the red-hot start and still being the only undefeated side in the league. We're going to have to do it the hard way. Like, there's no easy games on Ultimate. There's no easy seasons on Ultimate. I've talked about it before. If you're going to win, you got to really get going. You know, you've really got to grind out certain results, especially in games where you don't play very well. And this season with AC Milan is absolutely no exception. We are undefeated. We've won every single game apart from two. 2 draws, sorry, 3 even. 3 draws in total. 1 in the Champions League and then 2 in the Serie A as well. And yet, despite that being the case, we still need to turn the game on its head to beat Spurs to qualify as group winners in the Champions League. And we're still, again, only a couple of points clear of Inter and Juve right now. So, for the 4th game of today's episode, Empoli away, needing to return to winning ways, or otherwise Juve breathing down our necks would think for sure they've got a genuine chance of catching us by Christmas. We took lead through Timmermans in the first half, and in stoppage time, to be fair, in a game I'm being in complete control of, just couldn't put the finisher on a touch on the moves. We would get our second and the dagger as well. Oh, these late goal celebrations. I love them. I really, really do. Maybe not quite as warranted as others we've seen, but they still look really cool when they probably are, if you want, justifiable. That was so cool there. 2-0 the final score. Roberto getting another to add to Timmermans' first right towards the end of first half in a game where, again, we were in complete control. And again, we'll have games like this. I've mentioned it before. We'll have games like this where we are in control from first whistle to last. So it's not quite as challenging as other games we'll have. But even so, to have only got a 2-0 victory in that game, in previous FIFAs, I would have won that like 4 or 5-0. In fact, we only won it 2-0 with a goal right before the first staff break and then right before the full-time whistle as well. It's good. I'm liking it, man. Even when we're winning, we're still being challenged. But still, for the final game of today's episode, this would be at match day 6, Champions League group stage. Again, qualification, top spot in the bag. So I talked about the luxury of being able to rotate your entire side for the game in December. No pressure, no need to play your starters, no risk of your star players getting injured. Bajik's here right now in 3rd place, going for a Europa League spot to qualify into that competition for the rest of the season. Took lead through Yuri Tielemans, making it 1-0. One of the vets in this team. It's been a real U-turn for Yuri. There was a lot of speculation he'd be leaving when we took over at 29 years old, but he's become one of the mentors, one of the leaders, one of the vets, and still a star player in this side. Last season, first team regular. This season, after Ravela's come in, he's been a bench player for the most part, but still wearing a captain's armband. And this game puts in a captain's performance. 2-0 the final score. Brace for the Belgian in a comfortable 2-0 win against Bajik here, where again, to be fair, didn't even play my best football, but still managed to come through with the win. Talked about it, that's what champions need to do. So there we go, we topped the group. Spurs are coming through with us. Fair play to the Turkish side, Bajik here. They're going to the Europa League as Benfica finished with the wooden spoon. But as for the league right now, 15 games in, 13 wins in 15, still undefeated. Yet we're still only 4 points clear of Juve and 6 clear of the holders Inter. Like I said it before, if we're going to stay top spot and win this title, we have to do it the hard way. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. Massive thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode, featuring our first Milan derby against Inter, the holders this season, and the January transfer window opening as well very soon.